Hey, welcome back to How Not to Game with Kelly Jack. I'm Kelly Jack. This here is the Simutrans tutorial sessions, another episode. And looks like I've managed to turn around Eastern Transports. So we can ignore them for a little bit, let them build up some money. We'll see if this holds. With the tanker doing his job, we're kind of following the tanker here as we go along. As he returns back out, that tanker is making some serious buku bucks. He's right now on a return trip, which costs money, empty, deadheading, uh, at 7,500 up for the period, and that's reporting period, and that's pretty dang good. Looking at his personal chart, he made 14 grand last month. He's currently at zero, which I find hard to believe. So we'll see what we actually pack down with him. We'll check back in through the reporting sessions, but we're going to kick back over to see. Whoops, that's the events. We're going to kick back over, and Calico's been ignored for a long time, but he's making money. He's up above starting cash. So this is actually pretty good. Last sip of that second cup of the second pot, which is perhaps one of the best cups, in my opinion. And looking at Calico's finances, he's been pulling in 60 to, wow, 60 last year, 50 the year before that, 53, 54. Yeah, he's doing pretty good. It's August and he's at 40 and a half. Yeah, 40.5 and climbing. So he's doing pretty darn good. So Calico Western's who we're going to take and work on now. And we've got a pretty good system starting up over here for Eastern Transport. Time for Calico Western to begin catching up. We're going to go ahead and turn off a few of the things that we've gotten on so that we can fix things and see what things we're doing. So we're going to turn off the reservations over here for a little bit until we need to look at it. Yes, the cough is coming back. I do have a supply, a handful of cough drops ready if I need them. We are looking at Rackham Castle Station is 6 passengers waiting. Looking at the chart, our arrives we've had as high as 51, as low as 2 in the past 12 months. Departeds are just about as good a high as 77, it looks like. I don't see where that is because of the line. Oh, right there. Yep. So we've had 9 so far this month. Makes sense. July's a good month to take a vacation in the northern hemisphere at least. Maybe in the southern too. I don't know. So it is time to start looking at what we can do over here. Now over here it is the instead of car industry, what we have over here is the book industry. This here is the literate world section of our world. So Calico's setup is to feed into this bookstore right here. And the bookstore's chain goes back to the printing works, which is at this community, who then goes to the chemical plant and paper mill. And we'll turn on the map so that we can see that. And then the chemical plant and paper mill are both right there. Looks pretty good. The paper mill is fed by these various spots here. So how to feed this guy is going to be interesting. Got 2 oil wells and an oil rig feeding him. But the oil rig is not as easy of an option because that river has a lot of falls along it. Between where the plant is, it's going to have one set of falls is all. Okay. So it could be done with a canal and lock beside the falls, or replace the falls with canal and lock. I prefer to go beside it and leave the natural wonder. That's what we do in the real world. Sorry about that. That was my coffee cup. It slipped out of the hand and dropped down onto the coaster. We are looking at from there to there. So the question comes, do we do the paper or the oil first? And then coming down sort of like this over to here to get to here and then back up to here. And I might just take and send the books by truck to save on rail. That's an idea. And we still haven't done passenger service over too much in the other area other than that one bus line to connect up the town to the car dealership. But we turned them around, so we're going to let it run for a little bit and see how much we can make before we have to take and start expanding service again over there with Eastern Transports. At some point, I'll get to the point where I'm flipping back and forth one episode, one company with other episode, the other company. So I show you, yeah, different styles, different ways, and we may even go with electrics on that Eastern as I had initially set up. So we'll see how things go, what winds up being the options. For right now, one of the things we need to take and consider is, well, what makes sense? So the oil field would be my choice because oil fields make more money. Oil is a higher transport cost. Going to the lists, going to the goods. Oil is 61 per 100. Wood, or lumber, I should say. Let's see. Wood is 56. So it's not that big of a difference. $5. I thought it was a bigger difference. Now, printer's ink is a huge jump up compared to paper. Paper is pretty cheap at $39.10. We're actually going to fight to make money on the paper, but the oil ink, moving that ink is going to be a much better per unit because it stacks up and there's more per unit per car, more units per car that we transport. Waste is going to be the hard part. That's going to be Eastern Transport's issue, or we may start a separate company to see if a company can make money just running waste and maybe some people. Sorry about that. Update on the feline patio occupational forces. As per this time of day, Custard has gone off to find whoever it is he's hanging out with. He does hang out with several of the neighbors who seem to like having a cat that's not their responsibility to do more than occasionally feed. I know this because he's the biggest and he's also the chubbiest. Whitey was sleeping on my chair again, which might as well be his chair, the way he's declared it. Got ticked off at me at some point and walked away. The kittens were Lux and Ombre are sleeping on the chair cushions that are underneath the patio table and right by the food bowls, I might add. They don't want to miss a meal, in their opinion. That and it was pretty much a good sheltered spot. They'd figured out how to drag the other cushion on top of each other again. I'm going to be replacing cushions real soon next spring. That's assuming the cats let me have them this summer. Runza had one cat. Runza's the female of the older three. Had one chair. Whitey had my chair, leaning chair, the high bistro style chair. And then the other lounging chair was taken up by Custard. Nowadays, the kittens take one chair when they're using the chairs out in the open. Otherwise, they all pile up onto where I piled up the cushions. I do need to move the cushions to a better protected spot, but if I put them over there, I have found in the past that mice get into them, even with the cats there, because the cats can't move them enough in that spot. That, and we've got the can crusher and a few other things out there in that spot. Kind of looking around, seeing what's going on. This has just been a quick video to update you that we're switching and follow along, show you that, there are other tools you can use to take and check individual lines, individual costs, and how you're doing.